Accurate as fuck, mate. Welcome to episode 244 of the Brewgooders, the beer, comics, and pro wrestling podcast. I'm Jeff, and to my right, but not as far as where we're a member of the far right, is Mr. Lagerlogs himself, Stu. How are you doing? Didn't forget your name there. I just forgot how I would introduce you.
Yeah,
we're both.
I'm all right.
Both fucking knackered. Yeah. We had a pro wrestling show last night. So yeah, it's just us two tonight. Which is great. Well, it's not great. It's not great. I don't know how the fuck do you know what I'm talking about. It's nice that me and Sarah are just going to play there. Andrew and John have decided to duck out because I think they heard that we were going to talk a wee bit about wrestling and thought that would be a really good excuse for them not to have to come on tonight. So, so they're taking the night off while and I assume so are all our viewers that don't really care about pro wrestling. But yeah, I'm trying to stall as I share this to our social media. If you're watching us on YouTube, go and share us to fucking social media. Here I found us. So
there he is.
What's that?
I'm just saying to the hypothetical audience that go and interact with us. I dare he is.
Yeah. Well, there's usually 2 or 3 folk watching at any one point. You know, we do have the viewers. Yeah. Just no one ever like. I took us off. So I took like peeling behind the fucking curtain again. I took us off of Facebook because for 2 reasons. Facebook threatened to start like binning everybody. You know, if a video was older than a year or something, they're just going to start dropping it.
Yeah.
Which they haven't done. But also, after our follow-up videos and, you know, our follow-up viewing on Facebook isn't great because people don't watch things on Facebook in this day and age. You know, folk don't sit on, like, Facebook video streams. However, we all go to YouTube. So it just makes it so in order to then, if we videotape on YouTube and Facebook, we either have to pay for it, which is quite expensive, or we have to I have to do this, and you have done it as well, this really intricate process of downloading, re-editing, and uploading, and all that sort of stuff to fit the YouTube algorithms. So we're just going straight to YouTube. There you go. Have you got beer? What are you drinking?
Yes, I am drinking a bottle of Loch Leven's.
That's a good one, man.
Kingslayer Strong Scottish Ale.
I would go so far as to say that was maybe one of the first beers, if not the first beer we ever drank on the podcast. Like way back 244 episodes ago, 243 episodes ago. I genuinely think that was. I'm going to Google and I'm going to fact check that. But I genuinely think Kingslayer was like one of Colin's first beers. It's a good one. Yeah. It's the stronger one of Loch Leven, isn't it?
Yeah, the strongest, I think. I think Warrior Queen is the weakest. That's like a 3.4 IPA.
Yeah.
My favourite is their Golden Ale, Outlaw King, I think.
Yeah. I don't really like the green one. I know the coloured ones, aren't they? But
so that's your Warrior Queen. IPA.
We have a place in Dunfermline, the Fire Station Creative. It's a converted fire station that's now like an art space and cafe, and they do the or at least the last time I was there, they did the Loch Leven beers, and it's certainly that the Warrior Queen one's the one I like the least. They're all nice beers, though. Don't get me wrong, but they're just
yeah. I know the blue one's definitely my favourite. I noticed the Adam Smith Theatre in Kirkcaldy stocks all 4.
Yeah.
It seems to be widely accessible sort of outside of supermarkets.
Yeah, like your craft. I think they just they've got like the local scene in Fife. I saw it somewhere recently, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." It wasn't. You can get in the Caledonian and craft beer merchant, and obviously, as like I say, there's pubs I know that serve it. But I was somewhere like there recently, and I didn't expect to see it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing." I find it really hard. I've moved, for anyone that cares, I've moved in the last couple of months. And the village I live in now isn't a craft beer place.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you have the same issue where you are. My local, I actually really like my local, but it does all it has on tap is tenants. So
Yeah, I've not really stepped foot into my local pub, but I was technically across the road at the local bowling club this past weekend. So I was having a chance to look at all their beers. And I tell you, the slagging I got for having a pint of tenants at my 40th party, all these like, shit, you review beer, you're drinking tenants, dirty tenants. So I then got a tin of Sweetheart Stout, and they all just went,
yeah, it's like 2.1 sweetheart system.
it's 2%. I'd never like.
2 point.
Yeah, I had a couple pints of that Cruz Campo and pint of tenants, and I was like, oh, I've exhausted all the lager options. What's in the fridge? And I was like, aye, Sweetheart Style, go and blow the stewer off of that tin and bring it here. So,
how was it?
Sweet.
Yeah.
It was like drinking an iced coffee.
So we had this argument with Mark Abnett, like lazing back on my computer like a lazy man. We had Mark Abnett, who a great local comic creator, local to Dumfries and Galilee, but we know him from the comic scenes, and famously during lockdown he made a habit of accidentally spoiling TV programs that we were all watching. But Mark's a good guy, and he, I think, as a day job at one point in his life, if not still doing it, like sells. Represents, I think, Heineken, or represents one of the major breweries, and like trying to going around pubs and like reinstating like contracts and stuff like that. That kind of stuff that you have to do. Okay. I imagine that like just making sure that you're keeping your pubs, keeping your pubs are the customers and keeping them happy. He made the argument that if the pub gives a shit, I'm paraphrasing this is not his words, but basically if the pubs gave a shit and look after all their kit, like and they make sure that their pipes are cleaned regularly and the fonts and that are sorted out, and that he made the argument that a Tennent's is as good as any beer. He's like, if you get like if you get a Tennent's that's to temperature as like basically a peak Tennent's, like what the Tennent's brewery expect or hope that it's been served to customers. He would argue that it was as good as anything. And certainly, I was out with Tom and Andrew a couple of weeks ago watching the football, and Tom was on the Tennent's in a pub that was serving craft beer. He was just like, so I think you
like what you like, I guess.
Yeah, folk, certainly. And Tom brews his own beer, but certainly Tennent's. I think Tennent's. I think as I've gotten a wee bit less wanky with my beers, and a little less like looking at the fridges all the time looking for craft beer, I've come to appreciate Tennent's a wee bit more. But certainly, I will always. I'm the same as you. I'll certainly like stand on that metal bar that's like for resting your feet on when you're sitting on the bar stool, standing on it so you can look over the bar into like a pub's fridge to see if they've got any decent cans and stuff like that. So, yeah. But yeah, Kingslayer's a good one. I grabbed I have a Camper. Have you been there? Camper Van Brewery.
Oh yeah. I quite enjoy some of their beers. Their mango mimosa Berliner Weiss beer was like a favorite of me and Margaret's.
Yeah. I've never been to the brewery. Obviously, I know where it is. Well, it's down in Leith, isn't it? But, this is their Leith Pilsner, which is a gluten-free Keller Pilsner, 4.8%, so quite high for a Pilsner. A Pilsner is usually about 4%, isn't it?
Yeah, it's typically kind of lighter than like lagers, but...
Yeah. But yeah, it's a Keller Pilsner, traditionally lagered. It's just nice. Good colour.
Oh yeah,
really, really crisp. Yeah, that doesn't look like a 4% beer color, does it? Really?
No, not.
Yeah, I always associate like I don't know. That's maybe the wrong thing to do, but you kind of associate lighter colored beers with being less alcoholic.
Aye.
At least I do. I don't know sugar, like fermented sugar darkens or whatever, but it's good. This is bro. Certainly drink this again. I got this in a place on Leith Walk a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Have you been to the brewery itself?
Yes. Aye. When I was doing the Leaf beer vlog.
Oh yeah. You've got it on YouTube.
Yeah, what you call it? Camper van and New Barns are on the same street. So I just walked from one to the other.
I was That's funny. I didn't realize that's where Camper Van was. I knew it was where New Barns is because you can see New Barns from Leith Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got this from a beer shop. I went to a comedy show a couple of weeks ago, and there was like the comedy show was in a coffee shop, and then a couple of doors it was BYOB because they don't have their own license. So we went into a beer shop, which is I can't even remember what it's called. Maybe it might even just be called like the Leith Bottle Shop. And then on the corner, I'll see if I can find the name of that pub. There was a pub on the corner that was really nice and was serving pints of New Barns. And I grabbed a pint and was a bit like, as I say, you could literally stand at the door of this pub, and you could see the New Barns Brewery from that corner. So I didn't realize Campervan was there as well.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, we walked from I think Campervan to like the Leith Bottle Shop. It's kind of like a lot of white and green signage.
Yeah, I got. I think I was at Cornelius Beer and Wine was where I was, which is towards the bottom of Leith Walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the name of this pub as well because it was a nice bar. Yeah. So yeah, Campervan's good. New Barns is down there as well, and I'm sure there's another couple of. I think the Leith is at least like as you can see in the video that you made. Leith is a bit of a. It's like a hub, isn't it? For.
Aye, definitely. I think the other big one down there, for me anyway, is Moonwake.
Moonwake, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think what's the name of the. You got Moonwake, and then you've got Pilot down in Leith as well, I think, aren't they?
Yeah. They weren't open the day we went down. It was like a weekday. It's usually weekends that they're open or letting people in for tours and stuff.
When we started the podcast, Pilot were definitely the Pilot were like the cool kids on the block. They just kind of and their social media game is brilliant anyway. But yeah, certainly Pilot were like. I think since then, like Leith has really picked up. Maybe even during lockdown, when you start to get like your Moonwakes and your New Barns and that started coming out. But certainly, Pilot were the cool new kids. I remember going to a couple of pubs in Edinburgh and finding their stuff on tap and being like, "Oh, that's incredible! I've not been able to find this stuff anywhere." But that's cool. Leith's an amazing scene. Like, we've said many a time that we need to go down there and have like a pub crawl. We just haven't got around to it. Me and Andrew did one. Colin organised one just after lockdown, and then couldn't make it. So me and Andrew managed to make it down. We ended up in was it Lost in Leith?
Yeah.
Which is an amazing bar. But it was us, and there's some there's Paul Sorensen and Stephen Ingram, and it was just like who's who of like Eastern Scotland-based comic creators. It was just really cool. Nice. And then me and Andrew getting pissed. It's absolutely hammered that day. Ended up in the Conan Doyle. Have you been in that pub?
I haven't. No, I've heard of it though.
It's a nice wee bar. It's just at the top of Leith Walk, opposite the corner of York Place. So it's up by where where the big. I was at the Pull Out So feet are.
Right.
You know where that? It's like the pub sits right next to them. It's a cool area.
All right.
There you go. Leith-based geography lesson for everyone. Awesome. Check out all them Campervans. Campervan's a great brewery. I think very like when it first started, it very honestly came from a campervan, didn't it? They brewed from their campervan at the beginning.
Yeah, aye, that's it. And I think the owners of the brewery have left. I actually in their camper van to go around Europe now.
Oh
So
wow.
that it's still open and running. There's staff there, but the people that run it have actually taken their camper van and are now traveling.
That's cool. Maybe they get down to Leith, man. I'm now thinking. I'm trying to think like so many cool places in Leith. Me and Colin were going to go somewhere for. I managed to convince Colin to come down to a place. I wish I don't even know it's still open. I can't even the life of me remember what pub it was, right? But I managed to convince Colin to come down with me for WrestleMania. And
Right.
it was based in a pub in Leith, and they were showing WrestleMania on repeat. So, like, for those that give a shit, WrestleMania is usually on a Saturday or a Sunday night. Traditionally, it was always Sunday when we were until like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's always been like a one night thing, and it's usually a Sunday. It was always a Sunday, not usually. It was always a Sunday, and so the curse of guys that mean Stu, where you had to hope that you were off on that Monday. For like as a teacher, I could often, particularly, I used to always catch SummerSlam, and also if I was lucky, would catch WrestleMania because it would maybe fall in like the middle of a holiday or at the start of a school holiday. Otherwise, you were, I remember when I was younger, I was having to like negotiate with line managers to get Mondays off when WrestleMania was coming up, and yeah. But yeah, this pub that me and Colin were going to go to was down in Leith, and I'm going to have to remember what it was now. But me and Colin had gone down, and we'd managed to like wangle. There was a tap takeover by those guys in Liverpool, that the Top Rope Brewing.
Oh yeah.
They were doing a tap takeover in Edinburgh, and I managed to wangle an interview with them and everything. And we were going to watch WrestleMania, and we were going to drink amazing beer. And me and Colin were off because it was the April holidays. And then it was really, really. So it was like what, the year 2000, 2020. Sorry, not 2000. 2020. Brewgooders are going really strong. My own personal mental health was at a fucking high. We'd organised this amazing. The podcast was doing great, strength to strength. Managed to, March was coming. We're heading into March of 2020, getting really, really excited because fucking we got this amazing like opportunity to interview a brewery, which was always good fun. But also, like, it's a brewery based on pro wrestling, and was getting to go see WrestleMania with my best friend, and life was good. Life was great.
Yes.
Then the funniest thing happened.
People started developing a call.
Yeah. So that interview never happened, and by the time lockdown got lifted, Top Rope Brewing closed down. So
yeah.
It was a shame. Actually, I
couldn't talk about wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
It was like that was their whole brand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they kind of stopped being a wrestling themed brewery, didn't they?
Yeah, they started doing like something like a Mr. Blobby sour and like Transformer style beers, and
I don't know if they're still going anymore. I think maybe they were bought over by somebody else and there's something else now.
Possibly, yeah.
But no, did you ever manage to head round to Top Rope? Did you manage to get down there when it was open? No, it was pretty cool. I was holidaying in Southport, and managed to drive out there. Southport and Liverpool are like 20 minutes away, so I managed to drive down, and I got to hold the Top Rope title because they like had a custom
custom belt.
Yeah, nice. Managed to buy some stuff. They had a cool thing with the bottles where anyone that hadn't done it, I was talking to someone about this recently, where it was like basically all the cans were themed after a wrestler, and then they would have they'd be paired with a match.
Yes,
on the can,
I remember that.
On the can, it would tell you what match. So I managed to convince Tom to watch the FTR Briscoes match from Death. Is it Death by Dishonor or something like that?
Yeah, one of the Ring of Honor pay-per-views.
Yeah, it was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And you were to. It was amazing. It was good, like drinking this. It was called the beer was called Big. Is it Big Rig?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the name of the FTR finishing move. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Aye.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool. They were cool. And then there was an American Nightmare IPA, which was obviously Cody Rhodes themed, and it was the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, the match they had.
Yeah, the AEW one.
Yeah.
It was a cool brewery. Like they had a Hulk Hogan one, and it was Hulk Hogan one, and it was the brand. It was him. I think it was him, Andre. It might have been.
Yeah.
It was I thought it was a clever gimmick, but I don't know if they ever got like cease and desists or something.
I think so. I think there was something like that.
Yeah, it's a shame. Folk aren't allowed to have fun anymore.
Yeah. People can't get away with calling their beers Papa Mango.
Papa Mango was their other one, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, I never had a Papa Mango, and I never looked at what the paired match was. I can't imagine Papa Shango had many 5-star conflicts.
I wish I remember that now. I'm sure there'll be evidence of it somewhere.
It'll have been his WrestleMania moment. Did you ever see Papa Shango's WrestleMania moment?
No. Probably the only times I probably saw him was like in the later years where it'd be with like Ron Simmons saying "damn."
Oh yeah. No, like the Papa Shango WrestleMania moment was when he was supposed to interrupt Hulk Hogan versus Sid Vicious.
Right.
I think he was Sid Justice in the WWF, and he was supposed to break up a pin attempt, and he mistimed his cue, so Sid Vicious just had to kick out instead of keep the match going. And it was like the only time that anyone's ever kicked out of or one of the only times that anyone's ever kicked out of the Hulk Hogan leg drop at Doom. It's like so that was like the start and end of Papa Shango's like big main event push. He fucked up a Hulk Hogan match at WrestleMania. So there you go. You're trying to work out what the Papa Mango.
I'm on Untapped to see if anyone's got a picture of the can up. And I could see if I could peek around the corner. I just keep getting big notices saying this brewery is shut down. It's like, I know, but wait, here we are. Match pairing Bret Hart versus Papa Mango, Saturday night's main event.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Decent.
I imagine that's all right. It's probably you hear about a match like that, and I know why that match was good, and it probably wasn't much to do with. Sorry, I'm totally like being a shitting on. It's a Chris Wright. Is his name Charles Wright? Is that the name of the actual guy?
Yeah, Charleston's a bit right.
Yeah, I'm not actually shitting on his legacy. I just know he had a. I just know that Papa Shango was like in my head is like one of the last characters of that horrible phase of the WWF before they decided to.
Yeah, before they turned him into a pimp.
Yeah, they turned him into a pimp.
Went from one worrying phase to another.
Yeah. Well, was he not where does it was Papa Shango? Was he not Kamala? Not Kamala. He wasn't Kamala. That's a different guy. Was he not
like in Nation of Domination?
He was like Kama something for a while. Wasn't
Yeah,
he? It's like a UFC fighter gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became a pimp. The WWE, the Attitude Era was quite problematic, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you look back on it, a lot of it you can't get away with now.
Most.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. We've talked about wrestling quite a lot, that's just because it's us. But we both went to. I'm interested to see what you thought, because due to different reasons, my wrestling attention has gone in and out. I worked in Starbucks since last October, November last year, and I kept getting given shifts that meant I couldn't watch pay-per-views.
Right.
And then I obviously moved, and all that sort of stuff, and I just kind of like stopped following wrestling for a while there. Like I was doing an overnight close both nights of WrestleMania. So like I actually instead of watching WrestleMania in my house like I normally would, or going to a pub or that, I listened to 2 different podcasts commentating live on YouTube.
Right.
That's how I experienced WrestleMania this year, which was
I
fine.
thought you were saying you would have just kind of watched it on your phone, but you were listening to it as if it was like on the radio.
Yeah, which was fine. Yeah, it was cool. It just meant my phone was plugged in the office and was playing the YouTube video to itself, and then I was walking around the cafe cleaning shit. So it was fine. But so I just kind of fell out of what was happening in wrestling. Kind of tried to catch up for SummerSlam, but it was, I say, right in the middle of house moves and stuff. And then I went. So last night we both went to All Elite Wrestling's debut shows in Glasgow, and I want to hear about your experience, but I'm just going to underline my experience very quickly by saying I was amazed by the amount of massive names that were there and
Right?
how I just didn't know what any of them were doing. I found it really hard. Like
Yeah.
massive Hiroshi Tanahashi fan. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's my boy. He's the Japanese John Cena. He's the ace, and
Yep.
he was I've seen him. That'll be my third time seeing him live.
Okay.
I saw him in Edinburgh, and he ruffled my oldest son's hair in this total bizarre, surreal moment at a Ring of
Mm-hmm.
Honor show. And then I saw him win the British Heavyweight Championship, the Progress one, the one that always gets or is it the one that gets defended in is it Progress? Can't remember. It's the one that gets defended on New Japan pay-per-views. It's like
Right.
it's called like
Yeah. Yeah. Or Rev
the
Pro
British.
maybe.
Was that? Yeah, it's the Rev
It's
Pro.
one or other, I think.
Yeah, it's the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship or that because I think
Yeah.
then New Japan send wrestlers on like a big part of their business model is that they'll send their trainees on excursions, so they'll send them to different countries to learn the style. And one of the companies they send them out to is Rev Pro in London. So, but it was Tanahashi was the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion when I saw him in London. So I was really excited to hear he was going to be in Glasgow last night, and he was just there. And don't worry, he was amazing. He was amazing to watch. He is looking his age now, though, isn't he? But
Yeah, he's a little bit stecky. He's on his retirement tour at least. Like he
yeah,
knows himself. When to hang up the boots, but he's like the president of New Japan now, isn't he?
yeah, he's the guy. He is amazing, and it's one of my all time favorites. He's one of the uh, obviously like I think he's kind of regarded by many. There was a point where it's Antonio Inoki, the guy that the founder
Yes.
of like a bit of a legend. No, not a bit of a legend. He's a fucking humongous legend. He's the guy that formed New Japan. Yeah, he formed New Japan, but then I think he kind of went a bit bizarre at the turn of the century, and he started putting his key wrestlers up against cage fighters to try and like cross promote as UFC were getting big. He basically almost killed New Japan.
Yeah.
And it took he killed New Japan, and then there was a bit of a dark day where they had to kind of like rebuild the company, and it was Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura and guys like that, who were kind of like they call them the four pillars, that are the.
All right. Yeah.
I think that's where that kind of the idea of the four pillars originates from. It was these, a small group of guys who they could basically rely on to go out here, and you would do like you would just put them in combinations of one versus ones, like 3 ways, 4 ways. You could just stick these guys in like you could set these guys against each other and they would do. But yeah, Tanahashi is amazing, and seeing him in Glasgow last night blew my mind. But I didn't know what his storyline was or that, and I felt like that every time somebody came out, I was like, oh wow, it's fucking Edge. Oh, I don't even know what he's talking about. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah, the Hydro's a fucking cool venue. Right, tell me about how you got on, because that was I've no structure.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I still follow it religiously. I think I hadn't seen last week's Collision, so there's like I was one episode out going in, but yeah, obviously I've just been feverishly watching this for the last few weeks, kind of seeing what the card is for Forbidden Door, seeing how the ticket sales are going. I think that pay-per-view might legitimately be sold out. When I checked yesterday, they had less than 30 tickets left.
Oh wow!
It was like they were adding extra rows, from the looks of it. And I think they only had like 2 commemorative chair seats left, but that's how kind of closely I was watching it. But yeah, I was in my element. I managed to get my tickets changed last minute. It's funny because yes, it didn't sell out. There was plenty of tickets. So when I first booked tickets, I think we ended up in row V, which was just like the very back of like section 2 or level 2. And then I realized that you could actually talk to Ticketmaster and exchange your tickets. So we went from row V to row E. and we were still in. As long as it was the same price point, I think we paid maybe £65 each for tickets. So I just found other £65 tickets in a lot better spot, and we got swapped around, no problem.
Okay.
So yeah, we just had this great view. We were right beside the hard cam. Just two guys with these just massive cameras on the balcony, and their whole section was like blocked off, and then from there on it was like people. So
Yeah.
it was strange. Like I'm watching it there, but I'm also watching to see what the camera guys are, what angles they're going for, and it was strange. It was showing you like a shot of the ring, then their camera would flicker to a different angle. It was like they had triggers so they could see what the other camera was looking at, and they could alternate. So it's quite interesting to see how they were.
That's fascinating, man.
Yeah, because at first I was like, their camera's dodgy, that's flickering. But it was like he was peeking on what the guy beside him was shooting. So I guess they didn't overlap. Or one could focus on what's going on the ramp, the other one could focus on the ring. So it was interesting. But yeah, I mean, I missed all of the Ring of Honor stuff because I was in like the merch queue. I was wanting to grab a quick t-shirt. And I mean, thank God they didn't sell trading cards, because I thought they sold the AEW trading cards here, I would probably have spent some silly money, because there's always, you see people unpacking cards on YouTube all the time, and AEW is my main interest. So the fact that there was like trading cards for that, I was like, oh, that's lethal. Thank God they don't sell those over here. So, but no, I was
quite miffed by the merch. Like, there was a couple of things there that I would have got, but they were just insanely priced. Like the cheapest t-shirt was 40 quid.
Yes. Aye.
Long sleeve t-shirt, that the long sleeve t-shirt, which was what I had my eye on, the FTR one, was 50 quid. And it was just like, just can't justify that when
I like the tie-dye Adam Page, the sort of the floral hangman shirt where it's just like the boot and the flowers. That looked pretty cool. But by the time I got to the front, like a lot of the sizes had actually went. So
I went down with Sonny on the way out because I was like, let's go and see what we can find. I said the budget. I was like, I didn't want to buy a t-shirt for Sonny or myself. So I was like, we'll go down and see what's left. And I think the cheapest thing about, as we were leaving, the cheapest things we could buy were the All Elite Wrestling flag, which was 20 quid.
Right.
And was it Tony Storm foot inserts or something?
It was a rubber high heel shoe stress toy for £15.
Yeah.
And it had like just her name printed on it. Which was a terrible piece of merchandise.
I'm a massive fan of like bizarre merch. So like when I went to Ring of Honor, I managed to get an LIJ lanyard, which I still have to this day. Which I think I'm sitting. LIJ. And then I got the All Elite, the one when I met you in London. I got the lanyard from there. I had my like work keys on it for years. For like 2 years, but there's some relatively cool stuff. The Ring of Honor show I went to in Edinburgh was amazing because the wrestlers were all. They did a thing in the concourse of the Corn Exchange where all the wrestlers that were on the show were selling their own t-shirts.
Yeah,
and the same when I went to the What Culture Pro Wrestling show, and it was the same. So like I bought a Jay Lethal t-shirt from Jay Lethal, and as part of buying the t-shirt, I got a photo as well.
Ah, cool.
And that was pretty cool. I had a look at that lineup as well. That What Culture Pro Wrestling show I went to Meadowbank in Edinburgh without really knowing what Culture was at the time. And then it was headlined by Joe Henry versus Drew McIntyre. With Jay Lethal, it was like, you look at it now, you're like, that was a fucking cool card. Jay Lethal versus, it was just What Culture were really good at getting like awesome international and local guys in. They got Jay Lethal versus Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor World title in Edinburgh. It was stuff that was good. My favorite part of merch is this wrestling like tat. Like when I went to London, I went to see New Japan in London, and I got this.
Is that a turnbuckle pad?
Well, I bought it right because I was just like, it was the only thing for less than 20 quid, and so I bought it because I was like, oh, it's like and actually they were selling it in yen. They only had the yen prices, and you had to go on I had to go. Everybody, you could see people, including myself, in the
currency,
phone,
converter.
work out actually how much something cost.
Mm-hmm.
So this cost I think £15. So this is you Velcro it, right, and you and then you put it behind you, and it's to make your seat more comfortable.
Some sort of lumbar support.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's So I've looked it up, and it's the reason they sell these is because in Japan,
seats are uncomfortable.
Seats are uncomfortable. That's what it is.
A little cushion.
A lot of New Japan shows are held in places like baseball stadiums and things like that, because baseball is absolutely ginormous. It's the national sport of America. The national sport of Japan, sorry, is baseball, and they just so they a lot of the venues where wrestling's held are also held in New Japan, are held in baseball grounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my favorite piece of merch.
Yeah.
When you buy a piece of merch because it's got New Japan, I got it simply because it's got New Japan Pro Wrestling right on it.
Yeah, and it's got the lion symbol in the back as well.
And then I had to Google it to work out what the fuck I'd actually bought. It's like, what is this? And it's like, it's
that's cool.
But I had a really good. I felt like this when I went to London. That's my second New Japan show. My second All Elite Wrestling show. Was that your second one or your third one?
Yes, second.
Yeah, you get totally you get smashed in with content, don't you? I felt like that in London as well. I met you in London, we hung out for a bit. Then we went into the show, and I think we got five. I left before the main event and still managed to catch 5.5 hours worth of wrestling.
Yes.
And it was the same last night. I left, me and Sonny left at 10 and had already seen a solid, constant, it wasn't I've been to wrestling shows before where you've got 5-10 minute breaks between matches and stuff, but there was nothing like that. It was just bang, 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 bang. It was great.
But no, I mean, they did put a lot into it. It was about 11:15.
Yeah.
The last match finished. And then you had run-ins. Last match was Paragon and the Young Bucks, but they were introduced as Rod and Todd.
No.
Yeah, they got the jobber entrance as well. It was during a break, the lights were down, and they walked out and climbed in the ring, and the crowd were chanting jobbers at them.
No, that's good. it's good. I've seen bits where I've seen the things online where their screen stops halfway through and they have to climb under it. It's good fun. It's good fun.
They have the Orange Cassidy pyro where it's just a single firework.
Yeah, that's good. It's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just mad. There was you always find that in any wrestling show, and the Hydro's so massive as well that you start folk certain corners of the room start to have a bit of banter between themselves, and you get total bizarre chants.
Yes.
You messaged me at one point and asked, I didn't know who that guy was. I still don't know who that guy is. There was a match and you messaged me and you're it's he's a CMLL, he's a Mexican guy, isn't he? But he's a CMLL guy.
Yes.
Just didn't know who he was. And folk were going mad every time, when his name come up on the Tron, folk were going it was
yeah. And I was able to look
again,
from where we were seated, looked over, and I could see this pocket of people going absolute daft, and they had this giant Mexican flag. So I think it was possibly a group of Mexicans were there and just losing their minds and coming up with chants the whole famously it's the Hey Bailey, ooh but then they were doing hey Hechicero, ooh they're just singing the songs, but it's one of those random things where it's the crowd picks someone. So right, we're gonna get this person over. Last year, Big Bill in Cardiff, place went mental for him. He was a bad guy trying to piss them off, but they just cheered louder. And this time there was just this hardcore section up the back, just absolutely loving Hechicero. Every time you got the hot tag, every time you got a bit of offense, crowd losing their minds.
I feel that's like when you and me were in. We took our kids to my kids to.
SmackDown.
We went to SmackDown last year. There was a funny one with what's his face came out and folk were going, but like, why is he getting a chant? I was like, what was it? Fucking Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started. Like, yeah, I get it. It's fun to like be random. So I was trying to think the Taka. Is it the same match had a? I'm trying to find out who the guy was.
What, the last. Which one? The Hechicero one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on Collision, so I'm not sure how much of that's out, but yeah, and that was it?
It was like
Dante Martin, Scorpio Sky, the other Martin, and then Hechicero, Lance Archer, and
it was
people from the Don Callis family. That wasn't Kyle Fletcher.
I couldn't think. That was the only that I say that was probably my only main complaint about being there was me and Sonny were right up the back. Mm-hmm. You were saying there we were generally in the third row, in the third or it's the third stand, so the furthest one back, and we were like 3 rows from the back, cheapest tickets. Which is fine. That's what I wanted. That's what I paid for. But we're so high up that the speakers for the speakers were blocking our view of the Titantron.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff we just couldn't see. We couldn't. So like they kept announcing folk, and we were like, sometimes I couldn't work out who they had, who they announced. And then a couple of times as well, I was like, I couldn't. And then you couldn't see I couldn't see the who they were announcing. Obviously, it was Takahashi was in that match, and I was
Hiromu, yeah,
who he had a match with Will Ospreay, Wrestle Kingdom 2020,
right?
And it's fucking awesome. It was the first time I'd ever seen him wrestle. Obviously, I knew who Will Ospreay was. So I was like, oh, cool. Will Ospreay's wrestling. And I even commentated on not commentated. I didn't. I sent an email to. It's the only time I've really sent an email to any wrestling podcast. I sent it to Grado's one, the one that he's got with Rav Florence from Ernest. Yeah. And Rav Florence read my email out. It was just like you just had to say what was great and what was shite in the week of wrestling.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was like. I can't remember what I said was shit, but I was just like, oh, and Takahashi Ospreay is excellent. And he just goes like, he reads it and he's like, yeah, Jeff, it was very good. And he just moves on. It's just like, oh, good. But yeah, it was cool to see Takahashi. I was like, I didn't even know, like, as I say, I didn't know he was there. There wasn't much announced for Collision.
Yes. That ended up being a fairly solid show. Because we kept looking at like our phone saying, right, it's going on 11, it's got to be finished. But they threw in a couple of squash matches. I was actually really surprised to be there was Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he just won like the G1
climax, isn't he?
Yeah. So like that was like what, Sunday, Monday morning, and Wednesday night he's in the Hydro. Doing an absolute barn burner with Tomohiro Ishii.
So I totally missed that, and I'm glad I missed that. Like I only found out that had happened once I got home and checked to see what I missed.
Yeah, and that was like maybe second best match of the night. Probably drawn with the Brodito FTR.
That might be one of the. I've seen a lot of live wrestling, and I love live wrestling. It's one of my favorite things in the world. That might have been one of my favorite matches, and considering I was so far away from the ring, like they had the whole Hydro, like on the edge of their seats.
Yes, every time where like the pin was that like 1, 2, and you thought, It's they cannot kick out of this. And something happens, they kick out, or the pin gets broken up, and yeah, like you stand on your feet. The Konosuke Takeshita match was the same. People were just losing their mind, stand on their feet, cheering for every kick out, because you just thought like
He's a
Ishii
superstar, man.
just keeps
He's
kicking
great.
out.
He's a superstar, and I'm glad. Like, I hope that they can build on this. I think
Yeah.
I was reading somewhere about like the argument is that all elite wrestling are not amazing at building stars. Like, I don't know if I believe that or not, but like they're just not great at like they've got a habit of like folk joining the company and then kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would argue the only reason they get lost in the shuffle so much is there's just so much fucking awesomeness on that on their roster. I'm not saying WWE have not got a good roster because they've got an amazing roster, but I think they build their shows differently now. Obviously, like we get 4 or 5 matches per. It's like you get 4 or 5 matches per pay per view in WWE now, and it's it's pitched so that every match is a pretty big deal. Whereas when we were at AEW last night, it was just like bang, 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 like oh, there's Edge, and as I say, and then they're like Tanahashi is like one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and then they say Takeshita like not being there, like showing up like randomly. Who did the open challenge?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack Sabre Jr. See that even like Zack Sabre Jr. was there.
Just like the New Japan like champion. Like we were just thinking, is it going to be Grado? Is that just, or is that too niche that it's only really going to be like your Scottish? Like, are really going to get that?
Grado or maybe Hook. I thought Hook because Hook's been
he's been absent. But Grado had already been out. He was in the Lance Archer. That was when I got in. Was when the Like a Prayer was playing.
Yeah, it was the same. So, it was a it was a fucking cool night. Hydro's a great wrestling venue. It's not great. It's not great queue management. that was my experience of it. I just found their bar system's really weird. So like I don't know if you did the same thing, but up where I was to get a pint,
you had to order at a terminal.
You ordered at a terminal, went to the queue, and I think the idea is that there's not really a queue because there's like 8 terminals, so there's like basically eight people can make an order at once, which is quite good. And then once you've made your orders, you filter into two bars, which have got like 5 members of staff each, and all they're doing is like pouring pints.
It's like you're ordering something at Argos. Here's my slip. Okay, 2 minutes.
So it should be fast, but I was finding like they were making the slips to order, which I thought wasn't the point. I thought the point was like that they would have like all the pints lined up and all the juice lined up, and it was just like so like we were queuing for ages to get to a terminal, and then once we got the slip, you were then queuing for ages for them to get the drink, and like they were still chatting. Do you want ice? Do you want a cup of ice with your juice and that? And like, mate, fucking give them a drink. And like I was just like, oh my god, like, this is a. I was like, this system's been. I get it, like, and I've worked in. I was just annoyed because I could hear Scotty Too Hotty's music playing. Right. I was annoyed because I was like, I'm missing Scotty Too Hotty, and I had no idea that there was even a possibility of me seeing Scotty Too Hotty tonight.
Yeah.
And but it was like I totally missed that. But I was just like, I found that quite annoying. I was like, but then part of me is also like, you worked in Starbucks. These guys aren't paid enough to deal with your shite. I was like, if you can't get your drink fast enough, there's a reason, and it's got nothing to do with this is what I've learned from my time working in retail, and in the last year, if you're at the front and you're struggling, it's not your fault. Like there's 4 or 5 folk above you that should be able to like step in and make a. So I don't know what was happening at the Hydro last night, but I found the queues pretty inexcusable, and I don't know if there's just staffing issues. I don't know how hard it is or whatever. But I felt like there was a lot of money changing hands last night, and there was a lot of queuing at the same time. It was just like, what's going on? Yeah. And that was probably my only dampering the night. There's a bit of roadworks on the way home. Did you get caught on roadworks on the way back from?
Yeah, the lanes changing, and you're driving on the wrong side of the road for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Actually, seems very weird.
But that was good. And kind of sparked my wrestling bug again. I'm going to try and watch Forbidden Door on Sunday. I'm excited for that. So,
Yes, me too.
It's in London, so it's going to be a decent time. I should be able to pretty much just finish on the van.
Yeah, I think it's a 6:30 start.
Yeah.
0 hour start in 2 hours, so that's a 4:30 start.
Yeah.
It was good to see Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah,
coming out to do commentary. So I've not actually watched Dynamite, but it'll be cool just to hear commentary to everything we saw going on. I can't wait to hear what the Tony Schiavone and Excalibur, their reactions to the tag team match.
Well, I've heard Brian Danielson, do commentary before, and he's excellent on commentary. Yeah, and I've heard from what I've heard, his commentary on particularly the tag team match was really good last night. Folk were like that was one of the best matches they've ever had on Dynamite, and you had Bryan Danielson on commentary for it as well. You can't really ask for much more.
I need to see his reaction to Will Ospreay's opening promo, where he puts over Greg's and then starts talking about sausage rolls, and then has a dig at vegan sausage rolls, and you see Danielson standing up for his commentary seat. It's all right, calm down.
I forgot how funny Will Ospreay should come into his own.
He comes out and does stand up almost.
Yeah,
I've got a story.
I remember sitting there watching. I've seen Ospreay wrestle before, live. Twice actually. I've seen him twice as well. I saw him in London both times, but both times he was like an undercarder. Whereas now he's like he's definitely like.
You would have saw him with Jericho at All In.
I saw his Jericho match, and then I saw him in a tag team match in London when I went to see New Japan's Royal Kingdom thing years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And both times he's amazing. I reckon he is one of, if not the best wrestler in the world, and quite possibly is in a conversation to be one of the best wrestlers ever. Will Ospreay. I genuinely think he's that good.
Yeah, it's a generational talent, the way that people were going daft for Kenny Omega 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think he's better than Omega. I'll hold my hand up and say I think he's better than Omega. He does what Omega does, and then he does so much more. And I don't get me wrong, Omega's one of the best. I was watching last year. Cultaholic have got a really good video. If you're looking for something to do for 3 hours, and you're just want something just really professional. You want something really professionally well done. The Cultaholic channel's great anyway. I would totally recommend it to anyone that's into pro wrestling. It's the Cultaholic Wrestling channel, but they did the top 100 wrestlers ever.
Jeez.
And from 100 to 1. And it's great. It's a really, really good. And I can't remember off the top of my head if Will Ospreay's in there, but I remember watching it and being like, if they did this again in 5 years, and I think they even admit it in it. There's guys on this list that are don't go mental at us for having your favorite wrestler at 80, particularly if it's your favorite wrestler and they're still active, because Will Ospreay is in his late 20s.
Early 30s.
Yeah, man. He's got in our. If it's anything like some of the guys that are going about just now, he's got our 20 years, and he's arguably not even hit his peak years yet. He's so fucking good, and they talk about it on I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, and they talk about they're like, what's your favorite matches of the year? And I was listening to a lot of Cultaholic, What Culture, and Wrestle Me, and Wrestle Talk. They're all British based podcasts, and they all towards the end of last year they were all doing their top their awards of the year. So Cultaholic do the Culties, Wrestle Talk just do their matches, they're of the years, and Will Ospreay constantly match of the year is this. What was What Culture? Wrestle Talk did their top 10 wrestling matches of 2024, and were Will Ospreay was in all over half of them, And they're like, yeah, if you look at this, I think Osprey's like he's generational, but I think he is like arguably the best ever. And he's certainly the best at the moment. I think he's just great. And then fucking, I didn't realize how good he was on the mic until last night. So I was like, oh my god, like,
yeah,
he can do everything. Like that's, you know, Bret Hart will always be my favorite wrestler of all time. I think, but he's so fucking shit.
Unless he's calling out Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg. But no, just like I always feel like he's like I don't know, I watched it when he came back. He did something. I was watching it with Anna last year, and I remember watching it. I was like, oh, Bret Hart's not very good on the mic, and he came out to do like they're like, please welcome Bret Hart. And he came out. I think it was like in 2009 when he came back after like the first time since the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah,
and he came back, and I was like, you want this to be amazing. I was trying to demonstrate how great he was in the ring versus how not very good he was on mic. And I was like, you want him to be amazing on the mic because he's genuinely the best storyteller in the ring that you'll ever see. It's like he just shit on the mic. He's like, oh, he talks like this, and he's like, so man, I had this match. It was maybe like 1998, 1999, and that match was pretty good. But I'm here tonight to tell you, you're like, oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? That's his tone, and he just like that's how he talks. And then like he was talking last year, and then Gunther came out. It was just like,
oh yeah.
Gunther came out. It was just like, oh, you will always be my favorite wrestler in the world, and like got him in 2 lines. He's like, actually, you're my second best wrestler after Bill Goldberg. You're like, there you go. Like he's already better on the mic than you ever will. You're supposed to be the best, man. Yeah, there's anything else you wanted more to say about last night? I just like there was so much crammed in. I kept seeing amazing thing after amazing thing.
The whole chaotic start, like where it was the 6-man tag, like Tanahashi, and then going against the Death Riders. But it was just like practically everyone from the back coming out for a scrap.
Yeah.
And Darby Allin in the body bag. And then it's like, right, if you lose sight of Darby Allin, he's most likely climbed up a level and he's going to jump off. It was exactly what he did. I was just love because I think they always like to have a really chaotic start to their show. But no, I had a feeling. Right, you saw the backstage promos with MJF, Mark Briscoe, all in the storyline with Hangman. I don't think MJF actually came out to the crowd.
There was a lot of
backstage.
There was a lot of that, and it's kind of what I was going back to my original point that I was saying earlier about there just being like so many folk on their roster. Mm-hmm. That like Samoa Joe was there last night.
Yes,
he ran outside. He ran, like unless he came back out again during Collision, he travelled all the way to Scotland to run out and
have brawl. A brawl,
and that was it.
And yeah,
I don't know. The pot for Samoa Joe was fucking huge.
Yes, aye.
I've got a friend who's watching Twisted Metal just now.
Okay.
And so I took a photograph and sent it to them last night. I was like, oh, there's Sweet Tooth. Mm-hmm. It's like, because they didn't realize I was like, Sweet, like, they didn't realize that Sweet Tooth is Samoa Joe, isn't it? It's like,
he's the body of the character.
The body, and
voiced by Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Lego Batman.
Yeah, that's actually what I said. I was like, so the body's Samoa Joe, who's like a pro wrestler. I was like, and it's Will Arnett that does the voice. And I don't know who Will Arnett is. Oh, he's Lego Batman. He's BoJack Horseman. I don't know what that is.
That too.
I don't know what that is. Okay, well, he's also Lego Batman.
But yeah, I mean that's it. But the feeling that Mark Briscoe never came out and MJF never came out, it's like, did they film this in an arena last week and they just timed like it was just clips playing on the screen and Hangman running backstage, and they just made sure that it had all the continuity right. And it was just.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. Would not be surprised.
So, but I did see a bunch of Hangman attacking Gates of Agony, and then lots of security in black shirts. So I'd like to kind of see that and freeze frame it just to kind of see if it's like Scottish indie wrestlers. I've seen Andy Roberts from Power Pro Wrestling here in Fife put up a picture saying thanks to AEW for the opportunity to be on Ring of Honor, Collision, Dynamite. And to be honest, I don't remember him anywhere unless he was in Ring of Honor, since I missed that. But
you say they often have them with security. Like I remember
exactly.
One of my favorite YouTubers, Simon Miller.
Oh yeah, Simon Miller.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I didn't see him yesterday. I don't know if he was in, but
no.
They tend to have him do stuff when they're in their London venues because he can.
Yeah, like I remember that from All In.
Yeah, All In. He was one of the guys that was pulling. Is it when Jeff Jarrett was doing that stuff with the Big Show?
Yeah,
yeah, he was there. Mm-hmm. He was one of those guys. And I was thinking Joe Henry. I always remember Joe Henry because that's when I was still training in wrestling. So like Joe Henry was like the biggest guy in like our corner of the world at that point because he was he was like in the same way that Andy Roberts is probably in like leaving like he's like the biggest guy in your pond, and also Joe Henry was starting to get like he was wrestling in Livingston with us, but then he was also getting Glasgow, and then he was disappearing to London to do stuff, and what culture were looking at him and stuff like that, and it was like, oh cool, I know that guy. And then all of a sudden he was on Raw as one of Rusev's like.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He was like a lawyer or a marriage.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And obviously he's now.
They needed a character actor.
Yeah, he's the guy. But that's good. It would be good to watch that and pause that and see. It was just good fun. I wish I had watched more in preparation, but.
Now you're prepared for Sunday at least.
I am prepared for Sunday at least. It's been a fucking how long we got? We got 5 minutes to talk about other stuff.
Sure. I watched. Have you ever seen any clips of Evil Uno's Mystery Wrestling?
I have. It's I often. No, you may have shared a few to each other, and I've shared some to like Tom and that. It's like comedy stuff, isn't it? Usually.
Yeah, I watched him. I think within the last 2 weeks, do a 22-hour wrestling match. Live streamed 22-hour wrestling match to break a world record and raise $32,000 for cancer charities. And what it was like an elimination style match with 2 stables, and it was something like 15 baby faces versus 15 heels, and the match lasted like there was something like 21 hours and 49 minutes, which was 3 minutes longer than the world record in Japan or something.
So I think how they did that then. So like everybody's having like a 45-minute match, and then like
and if that person got eliminated, they then swapped shirts with the referee, and then the ref was that guy. All of a sudden, now I'm a wrestler. Or they would be sitting in the crowd, and the crowd had lots of cardboard cutouts because they couldn't have the people there. But since there was a live stream, they had different sort of internet. Like Simon Miller did commentary for an hour with Evil Uno.
Oh, that's quality. I love that, man. That's so good. I need to watch that. That's good.
Yeah, and I think Evil Uno was one of the contestants, and he lost to a cardboard cutout of Orange Cassidy.
Amazing.
He got pinned and he didn't notice. And there's a point where like Stu Grayson is like their champion, and like he wrestled I think the longest, and like there's one point where he just lost his mind, and he had Evil Uno's boots on his hands, and he's running over hitting people but shouting super kick, and he was like he was delirious. There was no one left to fight, but he was still doing like the Bray Wyatt crab, but he had boots on his hands and feet, and he was scuttling about the ring. And then someone had a sword and cut the mat in half. So he's sitting with gaffer tape, putting it back together.
Interesting what Guinness class is a match.
Yes, Guinness, they spoke to Guinness about officiating it, and they wanted $17,000 to recognise it as an actual. So they're saying they're doing it for the Nigel McGuinness world record.
I love that one. That's cool. So no, it's funny that's how much they cost. I've mentioned them a few times. I watched Cultaholic, and Ross King Ross, he's got he holds the world record for being able to name as many ring entrances in 60 seconds or something.
Yeah, well,
so they
said about their one.
So,
the reason that they were getting like such a big fee, it was because they were doing it for charity. For some reason, since it involves charity, they had to pay 17 grand for it to be recognised. I'm not sure if they had to pay the wage of someone to be there for 22 hours or something.
Imagine that, like they're having to. There's probably an element of that, but even then, 17 grand's of it for charity, you would think it'd be slightly less.
Yeah, there would be a discount or something like there. I thought so. But no, it was like I'm pretty sure the whole archive is on YouTube and that. But I think they've also done like the YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So you could get like the reels of the highlights, because I'm pretty sure the moment where like Stu's lost his mind and he's in the ring by himself, and the referee's trying to get him to snap out of it. Or like, so you don't need to sit and skim through like 12-hour files. But yeah, it's I love how weird wrestling could get sometimes.
No, that sounds good, man. I will absolutely check that out. I've been watching a bit of random bits of everything. I watched I've been watching Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal season 2's out now.
Mm-hmm.
That's good fun. I've been watching the newest season of South Park.
Oh yeah.
Since the last time we were on, like Andrew and John suggested I watch Department Q.
Oh yeah.
Watched that in like a weekend. That was bloody brilliant as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite excited that once I come off here tonight, me and Sonny are going to read a couple chapters of. So we all know that Animorphs, the 1990s book series, is it's the best book series ever written. So I've got some of them. I've still got some of the books up here. There's book 13.
Yeah, I remember that in the library in high school.
So yeah, like I don't know if anyone remembers these books, but they're fucking quality. Like my copy of my first. Book 1 is still in my van because I took it on holiday to try and get somebody to read it, and they didn't. But so like the idea is that these kids can turn into animals.
Yeah.
And then in every
was there a BBC series as well? Oh, the Morph.
Oh, check it out! I didn't even realize my copy of issue 13 has a blinking like fact file card in it as well.
Oh. That's
pretty cool. So I'm slowly trying to buy them all. I think there's 54 books in the Key series.
Wow.
There's four exactly. It was they're Scholastic as well. So I remember like reading Goosebumps and going to my grand's every week and buying a new Goosebump book when I was out. And
it was almost like a monthly. Like book, I'm not sure how R.L. Stine managed it to like pump out a book every month.
I think to suggest that R.L. Stine wrote them all is maybe how I know for a fact that because it was the same with the Applegate. So K.A. Applegate, who wrote the Animorph books, she was bringing them out once a month. But I think after book, so I say there's 54, then there's like five books, or sorry, 4 Megamorph books, which are like almost like. They came out in the summer every year, and it was like 300 pages instead of like 150. And then she had these ones as well, which I've got a couple of them all like prequel books about like certain, that's the best one, the Andalite Chronicles of it. But I think after book 20 something, she had she just did she did an outline and had it ghostwritten. And I think R.L. Stine was the same with Goosebumps towards the end. Like, and actually, Kay Applegate, like I know she wrote a lot of Animorphs, but it was actually, do you know Michael Grant? He Michael Grant. He wrote "Is It Gone?" It's a really popular young adult series about adults just disappearing. So everyone over the age of 14 just disappears one time.
Right.
Yeah, and it's so him and Catherine Applegate are married, so they wrote hours together, and then she was doing another series at the same time. So yeah, basically crazy thing. But like, that was a long-winded way of saying that. In order to try and get Sonny to read more, and trying to get him into interesting stuff or stuff that I thought I enjoyed, I bought with my first paycheck off my own business. I bought the Animorphs graphic novel. It's like 13 quid. I haven't spent that much money for a long time.
Yeah.
But so they've I'm excited. So that's the first book of the series, but as a graphic novel, and I think they've done the first 8 Animorphs in graphic novel. I think they stopped. They haven't done one in about 4 years now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Cool. And to answer your question that you asked ages ago, man, I did hear you, and I forgot to say they did do a TV series. It was shit. It was really bad.
The technology wasn't there for it.
I just think the budget wasn't there. You know, like it's children that can turn into animals to fight an alien invasion. Probably required quite a big budget. And so I remember reading the books and being like, "Oh, these are giant space battles and stuff." And then when they were turned into the TV series, that giant space battle turned into one poor CGI ship versus another CGI ship, and it was like a one-on-one battle. And I was like, "No, this was like a Death Star level confrontation in the book."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to read that. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on the van, just like reading and watching documentaries about Animorphs. And I've got back into it now, and I'm like, shit, I want to read. I'm me and Sonny are going to read the graphic novel together tonight, or at least some of it. So, and then Forbidden Door this weekend. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Not a lot planned. I think it's just usual boring adult stuff, like tidying in the garden for winter. But kind of saving all my energy for Sunday.
Yeah. So. Good. As I say, it's great when the wrestling's on at a decent time of night as well.
Yeah, aye. So I mean, it will still be a late one. It's like a 6:30 start, and they're always like a minimum 4-hour, 5-hour pay-per-views.
Yeah, I reckon. It was about 11 o'clock it finished before, wasn't it? I remember being sat on my train to come back up to Scotland, and as things were coming to a close. But yeah, no, that'd be amazing, man. And I know we haven't really spoken about it, but it'd be nicer to chat about it, or it'll probably be quite nice to chat to it next week when Andrew and I are back. Your video blog of your time down in Birmingham.
Oh yeah, there's two. There's one that's out was in June, and I've still not edited the one from the beginning of August. It's the next one to do. It's like 3 hours worth of footage to try and make something out of. So it's a big task.
Sure, management. Did you have a good time though? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Getting there and coming back, very stressful. But whilst I was there, brilliant time.
That's good. Look forward to hearing all about it and seeing it, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's about time though, and as I promised my son I was going to read to him tonight. So, everyone look after themselves. We'll see you next week. Forbidden Door is on the telly. You should watch that because it'll be amazing. And catch us all next week. Cheers, everyone.
Take it easy.